Reaching the age of 70 is not just a number, it is a milestone that very few people truly stop to appreciate. In a world that is always rushing, always chasing the next thing, turning 70 means you have lived through decades of change, love, loss, laughter, and quiet mornings that you probably didn't even notice were beautiful at the time. This channel exists for people like you, people who have lived deeply and who deserve content that speaks to the heart. We are a small, growing family. And if these words ever make you feel seen or understood, it would mean the world to us if you subscribed and helped us reach more people who need to hear this. And here is something worth sitting with today. If you are 70 or beyond, and you can still do these 6 simple things in your life, even in the smallest, most ordinary ways, then you are not just getting older, you are genuinely winning at life. Because success at this stage of life does not look like a corner office or a bank balance. It does not look like a trophy or a title. It looks like peace. It looks like a heart that is still open. It looks like the ability to sit on your porch in the morning, feel the warmth of the sun on your face, and think to yourself, yes, this is enough. This is good. The first thing that shows you are winning at life after 70 is that you still have curiosity. You still want to know things. You still ask questions. You still find the world interesting. Now, curiosity does not mean you have to be studying for a degree or reading thick books every night. Curiosity can look like watching a nature documentary and genuinely wondering how those tiny creatures survive. It can look like asking your grandchild to teach you something on their phone and actually trying to learn it. It can look like reading the newspaper or trying a new recipe you saw somewhere, or simply wondering why a flower grows the way it does. The reason this matters so much is because the moment we stop being curious, we start shrinking. Not physically, but inside. The mind starts to feel smaller. The days start to feel all the same. But when curiosity is alive in you, every single day has the possibility of something interesting in it. Science has shown us for years that keeping the mind engaged and active is one of the strongest things we can do for our brain as we age. And you don't need a laboratory to do it. You just need to stay interested, stay open. Let the world still surprise you, because it will, if you allow it to. The second thing that shows you are winning is that you still maintain your independence in small, meaningful ways. And please hear this carefully, because independence at 70 does not mean doing everything alone or never asking for help. That is not what this is about. Independence here means that there are still things you do for yourself, by yourself, that give you a quiet sense of pride and dignity. Maybe you still make your own breakfast every morning. Maybe you still manage your own bills, or water your garden, or fold your own laundry. Maybe you still decide what you want to eat when you want to rest, or which road you want to walk down on your morning stroll. These things sound small, but they carry enormous weight inside the heart. Every time you do something yourself, you are telling your own spirit, I am still here. I still have capability. I still matter. And that feeling, that inner confidence that comes from small acts of self-reliance, is something no amount of money or comfort can replace. Hold on to those small, independent acts as long as you possibly can. They are not just practical tasks. They are declarations of your continued dignity. The third sign that you are winning at life is that you are still connected to people who matter to you. Human beings were never designed to be alone. We were built for connection, for conversation, for the warmth of someone who knows us. And after 70, connection becomes even more precious because life has a way of thinning our circles. Friends move away or pass on. Children get busy. The world gets quieter around us. But if you still have even 1 or 2 people you can call, someone who picks up the phone, someone who asks how you are and actually waits for the answer, someone who makes you laugh or remembers something from years ago that you had almost forgotten, then you have something truly irreplaceable. Connection does not require a crowd. It does not require daily visits or grand gestures. It requires genuine warmth between 2 people. A phone call that lasts 20 minutes, a cup of tea shared with a neighbor, a letter written to someone far away. These moments of human warmth are what keep the heart alive, long after everything else has quieted down. The fourth thing that marks a life well lived at this age is the ability to find real joy in simple, everyday moments. This is perhaps the most underrated gift that age brings with it, and it takes most of us decades to fully understand it. When you are young, joy tends to live in the big events, the holidays, the celebrations, the milestones. but somewhere along the journey of life, if you have been paying attention, you discover that joy actually lives in the small things. It always has. The sound of rain on the window in the early morning, a piece of music that takes you somewhere you had almost forgotten, the smell of something good cooking in the kitchen, the soft weight of a grandchild falling asleep against your shoulder. These moments do not announce themselves. They do not ask for your attention. They simply appear, quietly and briefly, and they are full of life. If you are someone who notices these things, who pauses and thinks, "Oh, this is lovely, this is enough," then you have achieved something that many people never reach. No matter how much they have accumulated, you have learned how to actually be present in your own life. The fifth sign is that you are taking care of your body with kindness and respect. And again, this is not about perfection. This is not about running marathons or following strict diets. It is about treating your body the way you would treat an old and dear friend, with patience, with care, with gentleness. Maybe you take a short walk every morning, even if it is just around the block. Maybe you are mindful about what you eat, not obsessively, but thoughtfully. Maybe you take your medication when you are supposed to, and you actually keep your doctor's appointments instead of putting them off. Maybe you rest when you are tired instead of pushing through. All of these things are acts of deep self-respect. They say, "I value the life I have been given. I want to be here as fully as I can for as long as I can." Your body has carried you through 7 decades. It has held you through grief and joy, through illness and recovery, through everything you have ever experienced. It deserves your gentleness now. It deserves your attention and your gratitude. The relationship you have with your own body at this age, the way you listen to it and respond to it with compassion, that is one of the most profound forms of wisdom a person can carry. And the sixth, and perhaps most beautiful sign of all, is that you are living with gratitude and a genuine sense of peace. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a practice, a way of seeing the world. And it does not come easily. It is something we grow into, usually through difficulty, through loss, through the long and sometimes painful understanding that nothing in this life is permanent. Not the good things and not the hard things either. When you can wake up in the morning and feel thankful before you have even gotten out of bed. When you can look at your life with all its imperfections and still find beauty in it. When you can let go of old comparisons and old resentments and simply breathe in the day that is right in front of you. That is freedom. Real, deep, hard-earned freedom. That is the kind of peace that younger people are often searching for and cannot find, because it can only be reached through living. You have lived. You have earned the right to this quietness. You do not need to rush anymore. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to be more, do more, or have more than what you already are and already have. The chapter of life you are in right now is not an ending. It is a different kind of beginning, a beginning where you get to simply be. Be still, be thankful, be kind to yourself and to the people around you. Be present in the moments that are yours. And if you can still do these 6 things, stay curious, hold on to your independence, stay connected to those you love, find joy in the simple and the ordinary, take care of your body with respect, and wake up each morning with gratitude in your heart, then whatever else life may or may not hold, you are already winning, quietly, completely, and beautifully winning. And that matters more than you may ever know.